What goes on inside the mind of a female killer? Unlike men, they don't just kill. They manipulate, they plan, and they strike when you least expect it. From deadly charm to cold calculation, let's unravel the psychology of history's most notorious female murderers.
Female killers often differ from male killers in their motives, methods, and psychological profiles. While men typically commit violent crimes impulsively or due to rage, many female killers exhibit calculated, methodical behaviors. Many female killers, especially black widows, murder for money, like life insurance, inheritance. Some kill to exert dominance over victims. Acts of murder driven by resentment, betrayal, or perceived injustice. Some suffer from personality disorders like antisocial, narcissistic, borderline. A rare but notable condition where killers, usually nurses, mothers, harm or kill for attention. Manipulative and deceptive. Many are skilled at hiding their true intentions. Lack of remorse. Similar to male psychopaths, female killers often show little to no empathy, superficial charm. They can appear kind, helpful, or charismatic to avoid suspicion. High intelligence. Many plan meticulously to evade capture. Low impulsivity. Unlike male killers, females often kill over time rather than in a single outburst. Poisoning, the most common method like cyanide, arsenic, suffocation and smothering, used by nurses and caretakers. Drowning, some mothers have killed children this way. Stabbing and shooting, less common but seen in cases of rage. Aileen Wuornos, USA. Psychological traits: antisocial personality disorder, trauma from childhood abuse. Method: shot and killed men, her clients, while working as a prostitute. Motive: claimed self-defense but showed violent tendencies. Aileen Wuornos was an American serial killer who murdered 7 men between 1989 and 1990. She came from a troubled background. Her father was a convicted child molester who died in prison, and her mother abandoned her at a young age. Wuornos was raised by abusive grandparents and endured a traumatic childhood filled with neglect and sexual abuse. Belle Gunness, USA. Psychological traits: greedy, manipulative, and remorseless. Method: poisoned or bludgeoned victims before dismembering them. Motive: financial gain, killed multiple husbands for insurance money.
Belle Gunness was a Norwegian-American serial killer who lured men to her farm under the pretense of marriage, only to kill them for financial gain. She is believed to have murdered over 40 people, including husbands, children, and suitors.
Elizabeth Báthory, Hungary. Psychological traits: sadistic tendencies, narcissistic personality disorder. Method: tortured and killed young girls. Motive: power and sadism, believed bathing in their blood would keep her youthful.
Elizabeth Báthory, known as the Blood Countess, was a 16th-century Hungarian noblewoman infamous for the torture and murder of young girls. Rumored to have killed up to 650 victims, she allegedly sought eternal youth through their blood, though this remains debated. Arrested in 1610, she was never tried due to her noble status, but was sealed inside her castle until her death in 1614. Her chilling legacy inspired vampire myths and remains one of history's most terrifying true crime stories.
Nanny Doss, USA. Psychological traits: sociopathic with a cheerful demeanor that hid her crimes. Method: poisoning. Motive: killed husbands and family members for personal satisfaction.
Nanny Doss, known as the Giggling Granny, was a 20th-century American serial killer who murdered at least 11 family members over decades. Smiling and cheerful, She poisoned 4 husbands, her mother, 2 sisters, her grandson, and her mother-in-law, all for insurance money and personal gain. Arrested in 1954, she confessed with a chilling giggle, earning her infamous nickname. She was sentenced to life in prison and died in 1965.
Marianne Cotton, UK. Psychological traits: cold, calculating, and remorseless. Method: poisoned her husbands and children with arsenic. Motive: collected insurance payouts.
Marianne Cotton was a 19th century British serial killer who murdered up to 21 people, including 3 husbands, her children, and stepchildren, using arsenic poisoning. She targeted her victims for insurance payouts, moving from town to town, leaving a trail of death. Suspicious deaths led to her arrest in 1872, and after a sensational trial, she was hanged in 1873, becoming one of England's most infamous female killers.
Jolly Jane Toppin, USA. Psychological traits: Munchausen by proxy. Manipulative. Method: poisoned patients while working as a nurse. Motive: claimed she got a sexual thrill from watching people die.
Jolly Jane Toppin was a 19th century American nurse and serial killer who murdered at least 31 patients using lethal doses of morphine and atropine. Known for her cheerful demeanor, she experimented on victims, sometimes climbing into bed with them as they died. She later confessed to wanting to kill more people than any other murderer. Declared legally insane, she was committed to an asylum in 1902, where she remained until her death in 1938. Now, let's have a look into the psychological differences between male and female serial killers. If we talk about motive of male serial killers are mostly sex, power, or dominance, while for female it's usually financial gain, revenge, or control. Method: for males it's usually strangulations, stabbing, or shooting, and for females they mostly use poisoning, suffocation, or drowning. Victims: male serial killers, strangers, often women, and for female serial killers, family, spouses, patients. Crime duration: male usually acts quickly and violently, while female believes in long-term and calculated plans. And if we talk about personalities difference, male serial killers are aggressive and impulsive, while female serial killers are deceptive and manipulative. The mind of a female killer is a labyrinth of manipulation, control, and deception. Unlike impulsive male killers, these women plan, plot, and execute with chilling precision. Whether driven by greed, revenge, or a thirst for power, they defy the stereotypes of violence. But what truly makes them cross the line? Is it nature, nurture, or something far darker lurking beneath the surface? One thing is certain: evil has no gender, only a motive.